So, as of late, Google Chrome is kind of clamping down on ads and tracking, and you really can't use favorite extensions like uBlock to seamlessly block all the ads and all the rest of it. It still kind of works, but it mostly doesn't. So, a lot of people are actually switching to Mozilla's Firefox. Now, I don't want to discourage anyone really from using whatever browser they are using. If you feel like it's a decent company and you can trust them with your data and your web browsing, then fine. But I ask you this, would you rather trust, for example, Google, or would you rather trust some unknown company in some foreign land with all that stuff that you do in the browser? So with that being said, the choice is yours, right? Now, way back in the day, remember Netscape? Most of you probably don't remember Netscape because it was, back in the late 90s, early 90s. I used that web browser and it was great. It was the dawn of the internet. And after that, I started using Mozilla's Firefox. Excellent browser. But I think around a decade ago, everyone started to switch from Firefox to Google Chrome because of the Android smartphone. And, it was just an ecosystem all across the board. And Chrome was there and Chrome was here. And it was all migrated very easily together. You can still do that with Firefox, of course. But the big question here is, who owns Firefox? Well, it's Mozilla. And who is Mozilla? Well, Mozilla is a nonprofit. But then the question is, where do they get their money from? Well, individuals, you and me, and private companies. So let me go a little bit further. Let me dive a little deeper into this. So Mozilla Firefox's primary funding source is search engine partners. Specifically, Mozilla has a significant partnership with Google, where Google pays Mozilla a fee for being the default search engine in the Firefox browsers. Let me repeat that. Mozilla has a significant partnership with Google, where Google pays Mozilla a fee for being the default search engine in the Firefox browser. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, Mozilla, we're going to pay you a little bit of money and support you if you will use us as a default search engine in your browser. Okay. Google is really the default, the go-to search engine. It is. No one can deny that. You can have whatever browser you want, but usually you're using, Google's search engine to search the internet. And of course, this revenue helps support Mozilla, and it helps, develop and maintain Firefox. Now, while Mozilla also accepts donations from individuals and other organizations, who knows who that is, search engine partners are the primary source of funding for the Firefox browser. And this is probably something that most of us don't realize. We think that, this is, a nonprofit and they're getting money from, just individuals and, maybe small, medium-sized companies. And it's all wonderful. And, our data is perfectly, private and secure and all that kind of stuff. That might be the case. I don't know. I'm not saying it isn't. But, the question these days is, who do you trust? And you do sign agreements, right, when you install software. Most of us don't read these agreements, but it's about, your privacy and data collection and all of the rest of it. Is it getting any better? Is it getting any worse? I don't know. I think in some realm it is getting a little bit better, but in some cases it's getting much, much worse. But, this funding model raises important questions, obviously, about the potential conflict of interest and the impact on Firefox's independence. Again, absolutely. Some users and privacy advocates have expressed concerns, about Mozilla's reliance on Google for revenue. And that's a definite concern, and how they influence the development of the browser and the features of it. And, it's like your news that you're watching on your TV or wherever you get your news from, and you're watching. I'm not going to mention any news channels, but the ones that are federally funded. So, are those news agencies? Do they broadcast news differently because their employer is the federal government? Same thing here, right? Is Mozilla's Firefox going to tailor their browser and their development of it differently because they're getting massive amounts of money from Google for, development and maintenance of it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So I guess the big question now is, which web browser is better, Mozilla's Firefox or Google's Chrome? Well, I suppose it depends on what you want to get from your web browser. And if you're more into like, I don't want to see ads and I don't want to be tracked and, I want to feel more secure, you might want to go with Mozilla Firefox. However, Google Chrome is also pretty secure, although, they data mine because you sign off on user agreements on everything these days anyway, so you give them permission to do so. I don't know. I mean, convenience, it's definitely Chrome. Otherwise, you go with Firefox. Now, there's tons of other browsers out there, but please be careful. Please be careful when you download these, outliers, because while you might not want to trust Google's Chrome, I don't know really if you can trust these other browsers that are out there either. So just a cautionary tale there. If you're getting recommendations from your friend or something saying, I don't use Chrome anymore and da 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 da, and these are the reasons why, and I've gone with this browser, just be aware of that fact as well. So yeah, but that's kind of like the lowdown. Let us know which browser you are using, and I guess tell us why you're using it, because give us some context as to why you're using it. And I get it, man. The tracking and ads and data mining from companies these days, it's too much. And I don't know. I can see where some people are backing away from the big corporations and going for smaller ones, but there's also a risk in that as well. So